Hello, my name is Cactus Con Carne and welcome back to the only YouTube cooking show that you need to be watching. Now this month is a very special month for me. I love wrestling, and what's happening at the end of this month is the Royal Rumble. Now if you don't know what the Royal Rumble is, it's 30 wrestling entrants that come into the ring, not all at the same time mind you, but it starts with 2 and then every so often, I think it's every 2 minutes, somebody else comes into the ring, and you can have a big buildup of people in the ring and you gotta eliminate them, blah blah blah. What the thing is that there's usually surprise entrants, like the good old wrestlers come back and get into the ring. Now this is kind of inspired by that. Now what it is a dip, and it is something that I've made for Royal Rumble in the past, and I kind of like to, you know, make side dishes and make a big event of it. It's kind of like my Super Bowl. So this is what I'm going to now refer to as the $1 Million Man dip. Ha ha ha. It's the $1 Million dip. And you might have seen it floating around on Facebook. And there is a surprise entrant that's going to be one of the ingredients, but we'll get to that later. We're going to look at the ingredients right this second. So what you need, now, you need about 8 ounces of shredded cheddar cheese. I've cheated. I've already got mine shredded, but usually I get a big block and shred it myself. I'm just running out of time today, so I've cheated and got this. I'm tripling this recipe because it goes fast. So I've got 24 ounces of shredded cheese. I'll set that aside. You need one, it says jar, but I've never actually found a jar, so I've got 1 package of the Hormel bacon bits, the real stuff. So I've got 3 of those because I'm tripling the recipe. You also need, it said 1 package of almond slices. Oh, slivered actually is what it said, but I prefer the slices. This package is way too big to be putting into the singular. So I'm probably going to even put half of this into my triple recipe. So this is about 300 grams, but about 150 grams, if that, is going to go into my recipe. So if you find a nice small package of slivered almonds, go for that. You need 1.5 cups of mayonnaise. Now, this is kind of where the surprise entrant comes into effect. For me, it's supposed to be like a rich thing, hence why it's called the $1 Million dip. What the mayonnaise does to me is it's really thick. So for every 1 cup of mayonnaise, I use the other half of sour cream. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using 3 cups of mayonnaise to 1.5 sour cream for triple the recipe. And I've also got, you're supposed to have 5 to 6 green onions. Now I've got 12 because I think if you had more than that, it's a little bit overpowering, and it kind of steals the thunder away from everything else. So then you're just really tasting onion, and nobody really wants that. So get yourself a big old bowl like this, and I start with my cheese. Pretend I'm grating this. I'm being a good chef. I'm gonna throw all this in there. Now this is double cheddar, so it's both white and yellow, but usually I just use yellow. And then we are going to throw in your bacon bits, just like this. Make sure you remove this thing. Now this is silica gel. It's not good eats. You you don't necessarily die from it, but it will dry out your insides, and that's not a very good thing. So make sure you remove that before you dump it in your dip. It's like a prize in every box. And this is one. Now remember, these are real bacon bits. So these are, it adds quite a bit of a salt content to this. It's very high in salt, so if you have anybody watching their salt content, advise them not to have this. If they don't care, then, I mean, go ahead. So I kind of just mix it together a little bit first, just to kind of get the bacon and the cheese together. Separates the cheese so it doesn't kind of get clumped together as much. Kind of gives it a buffer between itself. Just get your hands straight in there. Next is the almonds. That's probably good enough for me. It's a good snack. You can snack on those later. And kind of mix that a little bit up too. You break up the almonds a little bit. That's good. Onions. And then this is where the magic happens. Mayonnaise and your cup measure. Alright, so I've got myself a spatula and my cup measure. Get this out of the way for a second. And knowing me, I'm going to get this everywhere. So, just try my best not to. It never works. I always make a huge mess. So remember, I'm tripling my recipe. So if you're doing this at home, following along, you're going to only want 1.5 cups of this if you want the true recipe. If you want the recipe that I'm using, you want 1 cup of mayonnaise and 1/2 cup of sour cream. But I'm going to go for the full 3 cups of the mayonnaise. And like I said, I've made this tripled, quadrupled, whatever. It's really easy to sit there and, you know, double it out, triple it out, whatever. And it goes fast. I brought it to Christmas before, and it was gone by the end of the night. So, I mean, it's very popular. Same as the artichoke dip, spinach and artichoke dip that we did before. So, I'm going to call that 1 1/4. And yes, this is a lot of mayonnaise. That's why I like to cut it a little bit with the sour cream. Now my mayonnaise has olive oil in it. You do not have to use the olive oil mayonnaise. I just like it. I prefer the flavor to it than regular mayonnaise. So that is that. Alright, so in with the sour cream, which is 1. And 1/2 cups. Now, if you're, like I said, if you're doing this the regular method, a little bit more, you don't be using 1/2 cup, not 1.5 cups, because I am tripling this. I'll put both recipes kind of in the description, so you can follow along, and so then you don't have to listen to my annoying voice again once you've seen this, if you don't want to. And then just, I mean, stir it as best as you can. I mean, it's really difficult at this point, but you're essentially just mixing in your green onions and your liquids. Make sure you scrape the bottom and the sides to get it all coated. And make a huge mess like I always do. So that's it. Once you've mixed it all together, that's all there is to it. You have two things you can do now. You can either slap a lid on it, stick it in your fridge, let it set up a little bit, or you can do what I always do and just open that sucker up, grab yourself either a nice woven wheat cracker, something like this, or my favorite, rounds, and tie right in. Get yourself a big glob and just, That's that. This is the $1 Million Man Dip. Now, I might do another video later on this month. Maybe a little bit more wrestling themed, kind of aside as well. Party food. And so that's what this month is going to entail up until the Rumble on the 29th of January. I mean, that's it from me. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, do all those things. If you're on Facebook, hit us up at Cactus Con Carne, Facebook.com. And share that to all your friends. If you like me, if you don't, then tell me so in the comments. Tell me why you don't like me. And we'll see you next time. I am Cactus Con Carne. This has been Cactus Cooks. And that's it. Simple as that. Once it's mixed, you can do one of two things. You can either pop a lid on it, stick it in the fridge, have it set up a little bit, or you can just grab your favorite woven wheat cracker, something like